One of you guys asked if I could make a video about Homelander, and I thought, why settle for Homelander? Let's take a look at The Boys. Hello, heroes and villains. Welcome to Multiverse. So today we'll take a look at The Boys, but before we get started, full disclosure, I'm not really a fan of The Boys. I read at most a handful of comics with The Boys. I watched the first season of the TV show, and there was some nice bits. I love the Homelander. Every scenes with Homelander is priceless. But I don't know. I love Homelander. I love the Butcher, but overall the series, I didn't really like it. I guess I'm getting a little tired of nihilistic point of views for superheroes. Sadly I love classic superheroes, and for quite some time, for a long time actually, we've had people who had pretty much a nihilistic view of superheroes, and I've been trying to either make fun of them or deconstruct them. Uh, and The Boys did seems to be one more of those things. That's why I never could really get into comics like The Authority, where they were trying to show, let's say, a more nihilistic version of superheroes. It was fine when Watchmen did it. When Watchmen did it, not everyone was trying to do that at the time, so it was, I guess, sort of original way back when. But ever since then, I got a little tired of people who are trying to portray superheroes in a nihilistic fashion, and also try to make fun of superheroes by showing how it's not very realistic. So let's get started with our friend Homelander. So as you can see, we can recreate a pretty darn good version of Homelander in this universe online. I will show a couple of different versions. I kind of like using, in this case, I'm using the Star Hex chest piece. I thought it looked neat with the character for some reason, but he actually uses more of a slimline bodysuit. So we'll take a look at something like that in just a minute. For the gloves, I'm using the Sinestro gloves. The shoulder are the Fourth World shoulders. The boots, I'm using the Owl Suit boots. For the back piece, it's one of the Amazonian back piece. Let me check, I forget which one. So for the back piece, it's the Amazon Strategos, and it's pretty spot on for the TV version of Homelander. In the comics, I seem to recall he wears like the American flag on his back. Obviously, not an option within DC Universe Online, but for the TV version, the Amazon Strategos is pretty much perfect for that look. And the belt, I just went with the Amazonian belt covered with the gold material. I'm also using the gold material on the shoulders. So for the chest piece, I went with the Star Hex. And for the pants, I'm using the retro pants. Actually, I'm a liar pants on fire. It's actually the Star Labs jacket. But you probably should be using slimline. Any number of slimline would do the trick. Here, let's go with the reverse slimline for the pants and the chest. So this would probably be closer to what our friend Homelander actually looks like. Actually, there might be another version. There is a bit of texture in the Homelander costume, which I would be tempted to try to reproduce using the scuba style. So as you can see, there's a tiny bit of texture in the scuba style, which kind of reminds me of, there's some sort of similar texture in the Homelander from the TV show, so I would be tempted to go with that for Homelander. Sadly for the scuba style, it's only available during the summer seasonal on the marketplace. So sadly, if you don't already have the scuba style, you will have to wait until next year before you can get it. So in the meantime, you could use any number of slimline chest piece or pants until you can get the scuba style. And next we have Queen Maeva. I have to admit, the name doesn't ring a bell at all. I assume it's some sort of reference to some sort of Greek mythology character or something like that. I'm using a whole bunch of Amazon style. For example, for the headpiece, I'm using the Ancient Amazon Noble, and I'm using the gold material on that one. For the shoulders, I actually went with the Shepherd of Adara. Technically, it should be only one shoulder, but the Amazon style I have that only has one shoulder. First, it's the wrong shoulder, but also it's sort of like a double shoulder piece, so it didn't really work. And this one looks nothing like the shoulder piece that she's using. I guess this one could almost work, but again, on the wrong side. The chest piece, I quite simply went with the Amazonian chest piece. I was tempted to use this one because technically she should be using a chest piece that has no sleeves. But the Amazonian looked a bit more like the chest piece she's using in the show, even though it does have sleeves, sadly. For the hands, I stuck with the Amazon Hoplite. The waist, I simply went with the Techno Belt with the silver material on it. And for the skirt, I went with the Amazonian. And the boots, I went with the Amazonian Soldier, but there's probably a half a dozen boots I could have used from the different Amazons. But the Soldier looked more, seemed closer to what she was using in the show. So it's not exactly it, but within the context of DC Universe Online, it's about as close as I was able to get to recreating that character. And next we have Black Noir, which is a bit redundant. For those of you who may not know, noir in French seems simply means black. So technically it's called Black Black, but in two different languages. Not sure if there's a plot point in there somewhere. Are they going to reveal that Black Noir is actually a French guy? No, or they just chose that name because they thought it sounded cool. I guess we'll have to keep on watching the show to find out. Maybe they revealed it in the comics. If they did reveal it in the comic, you can just mention so in the comment section down below. So here I'm using the full slimline headpiece. The face piece is the Arctic gear. The shoulders are this Scion of Iron. The gloves are the Aeronaut gloves. The chest piece is the Exobyte Origin. Sadly for the chest piece, you can only get it during the anniversary event. And for the Arctic goggles, you can only get them during the winter seasonal. For the belt, I just went with the Abyssal belt. For the pants, I went with the Stalwart Defender, but you could probably use any number of slimline pants. And the same with the boots. The boots, I went with the Stalwart Defender too. So as much as Homelander is the Superman stand-in, Queen Maeva is Wonder Woman, this is supposed to be the Batman stand-in, but doesn't really feel or look like Batman. I think it's going to be revealed that it's supposed to be some clone of Homelander somehow. I guess we'll have to wait for that. Next we have Starlight, which gets technically two costumes in the TV show. I'm not sure if in the comics they did the same, but basically in the TV show there's this plot point where they decide that her costume that she's using is not good enough, so they decide to give her a new costume, which somehow she finds is too revealing. Not sure, I was never sure about that plot point because her new costume didn't reveal much more than her first costume, but I guess, I don't know. Which I always thought was a bit weird because her original costume was revealing enough, so, but somehow there was a distinction between the two costumes that I failed to grasp, I guess. But you can create a fairly good version of both costume. So here I'm using the slimline chest piece and pants. I'm using the formal gloves. The belt is the Amazon Polymark. Probably mispronouncing that, so that's why I'm showing you the name. And the boots are the tall trim boots. So it gives us a fairly good version of Starlight from the TV show. And I use the gold material for the belt. So here I'm using this T slimline chest piece, the metal head skirt. The back piece is the embellished cape. There's probably a few other capes we could use, but this one worked well enough. I wish we could use the short cape, I guess, but the short cape is only one color, and I wanted to have the yellow around the edge of the cape. The emblem, I'm using the Manhunter emblem. Technically, her emblem is like 3 stars, but there's no such emblem in DC Universe Online, sadly. The boots are the Disciple of Parallax. And for the gloves, I went with the Amazon Hoplite. There's probably a handful of gloves that could be used, anything that suggests some sort of metal bracers, but these ones seem to work well enough. So this is fairly close to Starlight at the start of the Boys TV show. I assume she'll use the same costume in Season 2, but I have to admit, no idea. And next we have A-Train. I stuck with the Arctic gear for the face mask. The t-shirt is the slimline t-shirt. The gloves are still the Aeronaut gloves. I kept the Abyssal belt. The pants are the 2-color slimline pants. And the boots, I kept the Stalwart Defender boots. Here it's not so much the gear as the way the color is distributed that kind of reproduce the look of the character. So this is the official speedster for the group. And here we have the Deep. Of course, I had to use a bubble aura. I had no choice. Now for the gloves, I'm using the King of the Sea gloves. The chest piece is the Archer chest piece, but I'm also using the King of the Sea's boots. But pretty much everything else is some of the styles that we already saw with the other characters. I didn't go out of my way to try to find different stuff for each character. If I had something that looked well enough like the character, I stuck to using it. And of course, I'm using the gold material on the belt and the gloves. And last but not least, we have the Butcher. I have to admit, I struggled quite a bit with this one, especially for the color for the jacket. In some scenes, the jacket seems to be some sort of dark green. Another scene, it seems to be almost black. So I'm not sure if it's how the scene was lighted, or maybe it just has a different jacket in different scenes. That could be possible. So for the jacket, I went with the Gunslinger. It was the closest to what the character looked like. For the pants, I used the jeans. There's probably any number of pants that could be used, but the jeans worked well enough. And for the shoes, I simply went with the casual shoes. I guess the business could work, but the casual seems more like what our friend Butcher would actually use. So it's not exactly it, but within the context of this universe online, it's close enough. If you were to call this character the Butcher or El Butcher or something like that, people would understand which character this is supposed to be. But I have to admit, Homelander has to be my favorite of the bunch. And the way the actor portrays him, he looks awesome. He's very good at portraying him. When he tries to look noble and heroic, the actor is really good at playing that. But then when he turns into a psycho, he's really good at playing that as well. So he has a good range to be able to go from one extreme to the other, which makes the character very fun to watch. And for the Butcher, Karl Urban does a great job playing the character. But Karl Urban is always good. Even in a bad movie, if you have Karl Urban, at the very least, you'll have a good performance from him. So again, season 2 of The Boys is just around the corner. I will give a try to season 2. I wasn't too crazy about season 1, but there was enough good stuff. Like the performance by Homelander was good enough. The performance by Karl Urban was awesome. So with those two alone, it'll probably make it worth watching, even if I end up not liking the show very much. I guess we'll have to wait and see. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. I have roughly 2,000 videos about this Universe Online at this point, so if I don't answer your question right away, just search in my videos. Odds are I already made a video that answers your question. And that's going to be pretty much it for now, guys. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.